love to be gone magnet. Lobster's a 10, I think don't you grab it.
Welcome to Lobster Magnets Review, the channel to review. I'm here with my buddies Gorogregoro.
Come on, Greg, say something.
I'm Gorogregoro. And that is Zavul. And Lobster Magnet.
Yeah, we are all here, and we are here to talk about chapter 49 of Promised Neverland. And oh man, this was like, I personally thought it was a huge uptick in quality from last week.
It was, but that's not saying much.
Oh, yeah, that is not saying much, but it definitely felt like a big amount of course correction. Like, yes. I love the fact that Emma wants to learn how to hunt, so now that she actually has, like, a legitimate well, not a superpower, but, like, a tool and a weapon that hopefully she'll use her super smart, 160 IQ to, like, come up with some sort of clever method to, like, use her hunting skills.
And be Katniss.
Yeah. I was thinking so hard about, like, oh, Katniss Everdeen, yeah, she's gonna be, like, there's a part of me that's like, like, I'm so sick of bow and arrows because there are, like, so many bow and arrow heroines and, like...
Man, it'd be fucking amazing if they just taught her to use an atlatl.
What's an atlatl?
An atlatl is a piece of wood with a groove in it about that... Well, okay, a little longer than that, but I can't fit it on my screen. It's about maybe the size of your forearm. And what you do with it is you fit a spear in it. And it's essentially a force multiplier. So as you throw, you tip the piece of wood forward, thus propelling the spear farther and faster than normal. It's like a aboriginal hunting tool, and was used by other primitive cultures.
Oh, that's actually interesting.
It's like really, really, really easy to make, and is like makes your spears and stuff so much more effective.
That actually would be pretty interesting, but I guess they went for the usual, give the girl the bow and arrow. Although I did like, man, that would be interesting. That would be something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, maybe when she gets older, when she's like built up more strength in her body, she can do something like that. But right now, she's like a child.
Like I would have taken a sling, because using a bow and arrow is also like very, very exerting. Because pulling and holding a bow like that takes a lot of upper body strength. Like a sling, on the other hand, you put a rock in it, you whip it around a couple times, you let it go.
You don't think that would be, like, too much Goonies, though? That, like, yeah, sling, get him in the eye!
not a slingshot, motherfucker, like an actual sling.
Yeah, even, like, a sling. I know you, like, turn it around and it's like a medieval weapon.
Those are, like, quintessential ancient weapons.
True.
You used to kill people with that shit. Fucker.
That's how David killed Goliath.
Yes, Greg, it's how David killed Goliath.
I guess it would be badass for her, like, use a sling and, like, shoot it in the demon eye, and it's like, oh god, what the fuck are you kids doing?
or if you want to, like, continue that fucking Home Alone mystique, just, like, have all the small children armed with slings, because they're incredibly easy to make and fairly easy to learn to use.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
Anybody, like, remember that scene from Star Wars where, like, all the Ewoks are, like, using their slings to, like, hit the stormtroopers, and then there's that one Ewok, Wicket Weewark. I imagine, like, one of those kids is gonna be like Wicket Weewark, and he's gonna be like, whoa, 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 and, like, hit himself on the head while he's trying to sling.
Is anyone else really fucking disappointed that in the remakes where, like, George Lucas crammed as much CGI bullshit as he possibly could into those fucking movies? They didn't take the Ewoks out and replace them with goddamn Wookiees like he originally wanted to.
Maybe
that would have been a totally badass change that no one would have fucking seen coming.
How would they even remake the movie like that?
It would be really expensive.
Right? they have the goddamn money, okay? They just hire a bunch of actors and reshoot some of the scenes, okay? Not that fucking hard. Jesus Christ.
Or
they have the fucking ability to, like, make a fucking goddamn hologram of rappers doing shit. Fucking make, like, CGI hologram fucking Wookiees to replace goddamn Ewoks. Motherfuckers.
The funny thing is that, like, I'm sure, like, old school George Lucas would agree with that decision, but new school George Lucas is probably really happy with the Ewoks and all the money he made off of them.
New school George Lucas is like fat and happy off of like 30 goddamn years of nothing but rolling around in money and lightsabers.
yeah. That's pretty much the difference.
He's just like rolling around his money, cashing the check to Disney, like, oh my god, I sold it to Disney, I sold it to Disney.
Fucking Star Wars toys all over his face.
There is like a part of me that like wonders like if like, you know, I just see like James Cameron like walking up to George Lucas's mansion, and then like it's like rain soaked, and James Cameron has his shirt ripped off, and he's like completely ripped after like going down to the Mariana Trench, and he just like rips his hand through George Lucas's like double chin, and it just says, "You grew weak."
Jesus Christ.
Because like,
yeah, but he made Avatar, so he doesn't get to fucking talk.
Hey, Avatar is still the #1 greatest
Look,
highest grossing
anything
film
that makes
of all
me
time.
root for the destruction of an entire planet, okay, does not get my fucking approval. Right? I'm a giant fucking goddamn hippie, and I'm just sitting there going like, man, I just want them to blow that fucking tree up. Fucking hate that cunt.
So,
Fucking blue cat people. Fuck you people.
So,
maybe we
anyway,
should get
moving
back on topic.
Moving back to Promised Neverland, one thing that I kind of like that really reminded me of, I like the whole sort of Emma's like coming to the knowledge of like, you know, I need to learn how to kill things to survive. It really reminded me, you remember Full Metal Alchemist where they have that like training montage when they're on the island?
Yeah.
And then they have the like all is one is all realization, and then they like start murdering rabbits as they, you know, see it as like a part of the universe and the quintessence of accepting death.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole chapter gave me that kind of vibe, where like, you know, Song-joo takes Emma out and she learns to hunt and, you know, accepts death. And I almost kind of wonder though, are we gonna like get this sort of like industrial farming vegan message, or is it just sort of like, you know, the place in the universe and we want to fight against that place?
I don't know. I will say I did kind of like the explanation for the fucking plant.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Oh yeah,
I was happy about that.
The
if we can get
bloodletting
more
flower.
of like weird time buying chapters, I would at least like some kind of tiny explanation in each of them for what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a really interesting
Like that, yeah. Like
detail,
that,
like the vampire plants.
yeah, that's an interesting one. Though now I am curious as to like how the hell you cut a plant that's apparently sharp and sturdy enough to like jam into someone's chest cavity.
And apparently it's like everywhere.
You got your sternum right fucking here. That's damned impressive.
Well, it's a sturdy plant, and yeah, I did like the whole mythos is like, you know, this is like your hunting offering. This is like your sort of like, you know, I am one with the land is with me, and this is like, you know, what this plant is a gesture for.
I am one with the factory farming.
I am one with the factory farming. This is my offering to whatever, you know, profane gods that these demons worship.
I liked how the fact that Emma was willing to use the plant to kill is like sort of symbolic.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking weird.
It's like symbolic that she was like sort of becoming like her demon captors in a sense.
Yeah, I am actually really surprised that she was so down with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I expected a little more pushback on that. It's like, no, I'm not fucking using the thing that the fucking demons use to kill every single one of the children that leave the goddamn goddamn farm. Fuck you. Just gonna kill the bird with a goddamn knife or something. Give me a stick. I'll just bash its head in. I'm not fucking doing that.
But it had a really practical purpose. It drains the blood and, you know, preserves meat for a longer period of time, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, so does, like, literally slitting the throat and hanging it upside down for a while, but I guess that is less work.
Hey, magical plants. Although, I don't know, it's always weird about, like, so far there's been, like, really not much violence or blood in Promised Neverland, but, you know, it always, like, weirds me out, like, what is the limit of violence? Because, you know, there's some violent shit in shonen manga, and that's what usually, like, gets the audience. It's like, oh, man, I want to see, like a fucking cartoon where like people's arms are broken and there's blood squirting out and whatnot. Holy shit, this has it? Fuck Johnny Quest and Voltron or Power Rangers. This is my ticket.
And I feel like Berserk is right about where you draw that line.
Well, the key line though is like Berserk is seinen, so that like
exactly
is absolute max. But shonen, can be violent.
I feel like even if you took the sexuality out of Berserk, that's still where you'd like draw that line. Like if you took the sexuality out, it would just be straddling that line really hard.
I don't know, but there's so much
sex
guts
and drives it right over the edge. But I feel like it's kind of straddling that line in terms of violence. I feel like you could get away with a lot of that.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I feel you're right. You could probably like have a lot of that violence in like a shonen series, and so far we haven't. As much as Scott like wants to have that violence that happen to the little kids.
Come on, I just want to see them eat a baby. Just one baby. Come on.
And it doesn't look like we're having that, but
although that does lead to an interesting question. I mean, so yeah, the brains are obviously the most prized possession and all this other shit. So I guess they don't have veal for obvious reasons. But are babies are they like popcorn?
What?
Is that like just like a terrible snack food you shouldn't be eating? They're like I know it hasn't even learned arithmetic. It doesn't have object permanence, but I just can't stop. I can't.
That would be an amazing scene. I don't know if they have the guts for it, but like, can you imagine oh my god, can you imagine? Okay, so they go to like a city with all the Cockney demons are like hanging around, and they have like these like kebab stands, and they have like little babies with meat hooks, and they just sort of like take them and like, all right, you want some, mate? Just like fry it up and put it in a pita.
Yeah. God, if this is ever turned into a fucking anime, I cannot wait for the AMV using Voltaire's brains.
Voltaire's brains?
So
go ahead.
All right, fill in any details I missed. There's this famous musician named Voltaire who's kind of like a steampunk kind of geeky musician, and he has this song about brains, and it was featured in the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, about eating brains.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, that would be the perfect fucking crossover. Okay, so all right, Musica teaches them how to cook, which I still just really wish Musica would just grow fangs or claws or something terrible. Literally anything that would show that she's actually a demon instead of somebody just wearing a weird-looking fucking mask.
It feels like the kids...
But hey, that's pretty cool.
It feels like the kids are leveling up in a shonen-esque kind of way, but not giving them any powers, which I really like.
Yeah, that is amazing, though. We're seeing them level up in their survival skills, but, still no superpowers. And sorry, were you going to say, Scott?
Yeah, I will fucking give them that. At least nobody has learned psychic powers or learned to manipulate chi or nen, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Nobody's shooting goddamn laser beams yet, and I'm fucking happy about that.
And the William Minerva pen hasn't revealed itself to be a lightsaber.
This chapter I feel like was a huge lifesaver for the series. Like
it was definitely like a saving throw when it hit like 19 out of 20.
It was
yeah, I was willing to flush this entire series down the toilet and just sitting there like, all right, I guess we're doing hate reviews for the next like month and a half until Shonen Jump cancels this shit.
It's like it's like if I were to do some kind of weird baseball analogy, it's like Babe Ruth like almost hit a home run and like the shortstop like ran all the way to the wall and climbed up the wall just to catch the ball right when it was gonna hit the stadium or some bullshit like that. I don't know anything about fucking baseball, but
thank God I thought you actually knew what the hell was going on, and I was just completely blanking. I was just sitting there going, "Oh shit, I do not understand this fucking metaphor." Craig knows what's going on. I know nothing.
Well, apparently that's how you hit a home run, and that's how you can save the game by stopping a home run before it hits the out of the park.
do whatever the fuck Babe Ruth is supposed to be doing. That'll get you a home run, folks.
Yeah. Or yeah, basically.
But yeah, it was definitely a huge save, and a really interesting point is the fact that like Emma is being like the hunter-gatherer / warrior, while Ray's like kind of taking a more domestic role with his cooking.
The thing,
that is pretty interesting.
The thing about Emma, like they've always described her, like she's more the physical character, like from the very beginning of the series, she's like she physically outclasses Ray and Norman.
Really? I thought, well...
No, that was the thing. That was the thing.
That was the thing?
Yeah. She was always the more athletic of the three. And Ray was always the...
Yeah,
Ray was Norman was always the smart one.
Norman was the one who wasn't physical.
That's true, and he was like so smart that he was able to like overcompensate and outthink you with his like tag games, even though he didn't have the physical stamina, right?
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, because I remember in the trifecta, Ray was the analytical, cynical one who mostly played with books. Norman was like the smartest one. Emma was the more brash and physical one. Although they were all like kind of on par with each other in terms of smart. Although I guess Norman was probably the smartest.
Yeah. Norman definitely, I think, was the smartest. But Ray, I guess, was comparable. Ray is kind of like the middle child, like both of them. Between the two.
If you want to like look at it in RPG terms, Ray is the like I guess middle of the road kind of thing.
Like a human.
Oh, he was always like the most tactical and cynical and pragmatic. Although obviously that's been dulled down.
Oh God, I miss that.
Yeah, I miss that so much too. God, I wish they could introduce like a Norman surrogate so Ray could like be a little bit more cold and ruthless.
Oh God, I really don't want to fucking mellow. I just want him to be more cold and ruthless. Like I just want like at some point there to be a terrible decision. He's like, well, guess it's time, and just like throw a baby at a demon. Everyone else escapes. I just want that at some point. Like, okay, I know we said we'd save everybody. That shit ain't happening.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
I just love that.
And then, like Emma just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do that? You said we were gonna save her. And we're like, bitch, have you taken a look around recently? That shit ain't working. We are fucked.
Oh my God,
I just love that.
An amazing scene if like Ray does like this bargain with the devil where he gives like a few of the like low-ranking kids away so they can like escape. That's what I would love to see.
God, yeah, that would be amazing. Just like perfect shonen cannon fodder where just like Ray does something terrible, saves them all through like some sort of horrible Faustian bargain. Emma punches him in the nuts. Standard shonen trope rules, and then there's like this giant argument that would be entertaining.
That would be, that would be nice to see them thrown in, because like, you know, like sanded down Ray is not fun Ray, so we need to see him be some sort of sadistic, cold, calculating thing at some point in the future, and I certainly hope
sadistic. I literally just need pragmatist out of him.
Yeah, all right, you're right. Ray is not like a sadist.
Cold pragmatism.
Oh.
It was like, okay. Well, Timmy broke his leg.
Cut off his leg.
Well, we gotta go.
Yeah, a good old-fashioned bear trap dilemma. Like, neither of you played the second episode of like The Walking Dead, right?
No.
There's this fun moment in like in the Telltale Walking Dead game where, like, you know, it's the classic zombie scenario where like some guy's like stuck in a bear trap, and do you try and save him or do you just leave him to his fate?
I don't know, how many bears are there?
Basically, we need to see Ray get into one of those gambles and not have like a Deus Ex Machina, you know, the ultimate horrible choice that he can't get out of, and then he you know, makes the pragmatic choice, which hopefully we'll see. Because like, I think like the core appeal of the series is that it does a really good job of like balancing the whimsy with the darkness, and we can use a little bit more darkness here and there.
It would be amazing that I just now thought of, since we now have Ray taking on the more domestic role, while Emma is out hunting. It would be interesting if they swapped places and Emma becomes the more cynical, calculating person.
Oh, I like that.
Really
And so the
amazing.
positions are switched, and Ray is now just, because it was Norman's last wish, they save everyone. He's like trying to save everyone, or Emma just comes up like, motherfucker! We cannot save everyone! And she's the one to like huck one of the children at a demon and run.
Oh my god, that would be so
much.
sick.
That would be amazing. That would be like, I would.
Oh, that would be so good.
Because we did get that like one image of like sadistic Emma where like it says you still plan on like getting out of here, and she has that like look on her face.
Oh,
like,
that would buy the series so much goodwill from me if they swapped personality traits.
She just
and
like
then start arguing over like how they used to be.
she just like looks at Ray. She's just like, Ray, I'm sorry. Chucks her baby like that.
Oh my god, that would be amazing if like she tells Ray to turn around and then she like knocks him out with a rock and then throws one of the children at the demon. I would like. Oh, that would be so good. That would be so good. There's like part of me that's like debating like half of the appeal of Emma is her like unending optimism, but that would be just like such a great character growth and so unexpected.
That's a perfect break the cutie moment.
Yeah. that would be. Oh, that'd be really good.
And then we could have Ray being the like traumatized optimist.
Oh man,
We can still
Which I
save
think
them.
would be an interesting turn, because, yeah, I mean, considering his earlier personality, that would be good.
Yeah, that would be a really, really good way to play through them. Although, here's my fear though. Now that Emma's like has every hair. Oh God, have you ever seen Nerf Rebel?
No.
What's that?
So Nerf like launched this line of toys like targeted.
Oh God, yeah, now I know what you're talking about. I'm like, God, this is a mark of how fucking weird anime is. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is that some sort of like terrible manga I've never fucking read? Oh, it's like Nerf launched this. Oh, now I know exactly what you're talking about. The pink fucking Nerf guns.
Yeah,
okay,
the big fucking
cool.
Nerf guns.
All right.
So like, Nerf launched this like girl-centric line of like, toys, and basically it was called Nerf Rebel. And the whole idea is like you could be like, it was sort of like you could be Katniss, but we don't want to pay the money for Katniss, so basically it's like this pink bow.
Okay.
But like, so okay, so like my big fear is that like we get like a Hunger Games-esque kind of thing where it's like Emma keeps on getting knocked out and shit happens. Because like, do you ever see the final book, read the final book, or see the final movie?
No, is it just like
She got knocked out.
Emma the brain? I'm sorry, Katniss the brain trauma.
Every 5 fucking minutes, when something big happens, there's an explosion, Katniss gets knocked out, and everyone tells her what happened in the last, hour while she was gone away, and then she gets knocked out again. It's like, it happens like 3 fucking times in a row.
Jesus Christ.
And
I would
you're
have
like,
so much fun with that.
Just like,
just fucking imagine the just fucking like imagine all of the fucking awesome shit you could do with that. So hey, I know you were out cold for like 3 hours. The demons like killed half the children. They gave one back. He was eviscerated. They said it was a warning.
just stuck with it. Yeah, you could definitely do a lot with it. So who knows? Maybe Katniss Everdeen syndrome would be a good way to like give us the sort of brutal stuff that all the child killing that we crave, but still keep it off screen. Because it's funny, like all the violence in Promised Neverland is pretty much all off screen. Like I'm trying to think, what's like the most violent moment I can think of is like maybe Mama breaking Emma's leg.
Ear cut off.
Yeah, ear cut off.
The ear cut off.
Yeah.
What?
Can you hear me now?
No, I
Can you
said
hear
we weren't talking about ear getting cut off. We talking about ears getting cut off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
remember
that's
in
the most
Promised
violent
Neverland,
thing.
that's the most violent thing that happened so far?
I think so. Like I guess Ray's self-immolation might have topped that, but considering that was kind of faked out,
Yeah.
that didn't really happen. So I think Emma getting her arm broken is like the most violent thing.
No,
we've seen.
her ear getting cut off.
But wasn't that pretty much off screen though?
But it's still like a bloody fucking ear.
Yeah, but it was off screen. The most violent thing we have seen, like directly with the, I guess, panel showing on it is Emma getting a bone broken. Which, I mean, man,
Yes.
now I just kind of want to see them like. I mean, I guess to like subvert that Home Alone thing that we have going on. Like, just imagine if we had like 30 screaming children with stone knives descend upon one of the fucking
That would be amazing.
demons and just stab them to death on screen.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You just gave me a brilliant idea. Okay, so let's say like there's this incredible scene where like Emma like shoots an arrow into a demon's throat and it's like, and then she just like gives weapons to the little kids and has them like mutilated. They'll raise like no you can't become them, and he's like I don't fucking care.
Yeah, yes, and then like we see we like hard cut to one of the giraffe demons like, oh well, fuck, and then immediately cut back to the just like horrible brutality.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Although I'm still curious to learn like what the deal is with the like wild feral demons. Now that we know that like, we'll see if the uplifting thing is true. I mean, that might be like I don't know. It's like maybe 40-60 chance of that being accurate. Now that we learned.
Greg was right. I think it was Greg. With the weird horse thing having 6 legs, not 8.
Did it have 6 legs?
Yeah, we got a good look at it. It had 6 legs.
I have to check it again.
I'm still so disappointed that it wasn't a genetic abomination. I was really like
Yes!
hoping.
6 legs!
All right, so Greg won that one. It was a 6-legged horse.
That is kind of weird, though. Honestly, that's weirder than having 8 legs.
Why is that weirder than having 8 legs?
Because, like, it's fucking symmetry, motherfucker. What the fuck are the, like, extra 4 legs up front for? Why does it have those extra 2?
Does it need horizontal and vertical symmetry?
I kind of want it to. Like, it
Just be
should
like a
have
friend.
those extra 2 legs. Now I'm just angry about it. Does it use, like, 2 of them, like, arms sometimes to, like, punch people? I don't see that. I just want to see it punch something.
It looks like it's kind of genetically created like a Frankenstein kind of horse. Because I'm looking at the design, it actually has stitches around its neck.
Yeah, like around its neck. I wanted it to be a genetic mutation. I wanted that so badly, and then every kid gets their own mutation, and that would be the superpower. But it looks like that's not going to be the case.
No.
I don't know about that one.
Horsenstein alone.
Is that your name for it?
Yes.
Horsenstein.
Okay, that's canon until we get something else that is officially Horsenstein. All of you watching this video, spread it through the Promised Neverland Reddit, and make it so we, by the time the anime comes, that can be a thing. Horsenstein. We need to turn that Horsenstein into the equivalent of Big News Morgan in One Piece.
Also, if any of you are furries, come on, you know you want a Horsenstein fursuit. Please.
Would that even be a fursuit? It doesn't look like it has fur. It just has that fucking like yellow hair wig.
No, okay? Just make a fucking goddamn suit and wear it to a fur con.
I would love to see how that. Oh, you ever hear about Rainforest?
Rainforest?
It was like this big furry convention that was so wild and crazy that like every convention center banned it because they were so destructive. It like became like something of internet legend, but I digress.
I've never heard about that. I mean, I'm still baffled about the sovereign citizen Nazi furries.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, that's
I
a
think you
thing.
told me about this. This is registering. That they're like these like furries that are like staunch Nazis, which is weird because
That
you
are
think
both like have like a Nazi fetish, and also are sovereign citizens, so refuse to believe in the legitimacy of the federal government of the United States.
Is it like a Nazi
And
fashion?
they happen
Like,
to be
ooh, we
furries
like
at the same time.
We like Nazi fashion, or is it sort of like oh man, that like Aryan race was the shit?
I mean, I think both, which, again, I am just completely baffled about.
Yeah, that is kind of like a weird mix because, like, I can't imagine like God, like feels like something like if Germany did take over and they were in their Man in the High Castle Cold War.
We'd
with
be seeing
Japan.
only furs of that nature instead of furs that we normally see.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I just imagine the next like fucking. I don't know, like Gobbles or something wearing a fucking fursuit.
Well, wouldn't they want to purge the furries? Wouldn't that be considered to be a
Yeah, I mean,
deviant
again, this
behavior?
is why I'm so completely baffled about this, considering like there was like an entire like hate movement on the internet against furries. Like, why are you identifying with the Nazis? What is wrong with you?
Like yiffing for everyone. Like you're like already like such a like marginalized version of geek culture. It seems strange that like you'd go on the other end and then just become a Nazi.
Yeah, this seems counterintuitive and really non-functional, guys. Maybe you should stop.
Oh, good old furries! You are the enigma that keeps on giving. I'm trying to think of a way to tie down, but maybe we'll see furry demons in the future.
What? They just wear human suits or something, made out of human skin?
Well, assuming that they don't have like resources for humans, but I'm so curious about why there are feral demons wandering about. If like demon societies lived so long to the point where like they existed in primitive times.
Oh, maybe the kids have to blend into the vegan demons culture. They have to like disguise themselves as demons. Like they all they need is a mask, right?
I was gonna say, considering Musica, that wouldn't be that fucking hard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She could just
You just fucking wear a goddamn mask half the time. No one would know the difference.
Yeah, Musica's the laziest demon. Hopefully, maybe there's something gross under that mask or something. I wouldn't mind like the next chapter or two, we get like some sort of reveal where like Musica says, "Oh, I'm so glad you became friends," and then she shows her real form, and like the kids are all kind of like terrified of it.
Oh god, it'd be amazing if like under that mask was just like an entire row of fucking teeth. Like the Corinthian. It's like eyes, like teeth for eyes.
That would be amazing. I would like that because obviously we all have a passionate hatred towards Musica.
I don't hate her. I just hate her design. I really hate her design.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She has like a terrible design that like completely like kind of goes against the grain of like the fucking universe we've seen. Well, I do hope we get a little bit more about the demon culture. I wouldn't mind learning about their fucking religion because like I'm really happy that we got a detail about those flowers, and now it's just not like this extraneous bullshit, but actually like has sort of like a more concrete purpose in the universe.
I would like the rest of that. That would be good.
There's something like I was talking about how to fix this this entire series. Like,
well, I don't think it like needs. I think it course corrected pretty fucking strongly.
Yeah, I think it course corrected very strongly in the way like I didn't really expect it to. And I'm very pleasantly surprised by that, the way they did it.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Song-joo and Musica at the moment anymore. Like I feel like they're sort of they're growing on me a little bit, which I was also pleasantly surprised. Like I thought you'd have to kill them off, or like make them go away really quickly.
They haven't really grown on me, but I mean, there's kind of in a holding pattern right now. I will either end up hating them a lot more or enjoying them, depending on how this goes. But right now, they just are kind of in that same, I guess so, state. So, all right, I have to ask, what are we rating this?
I like this chapter a lot, but I think
this is a huge change for me. I'm gonna be bold from my 3. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give this chapter.
What the fuck, Greg? Show some goddamn consistency.
Greg,
this is such a big like. This is like holy shit. This is like actually working out okay. Like, I was very, very happy. I felt a warm feeling after this chapter. But the previous chapter, I felt like I was in a very dark place. Like, that was, like, significantly worse.
Fine. You can give it a goddamn 9. Isaac, how about you?
8.5.
This is like not very common.
I think it's definitely been like I don't know if I'd go so far as a 9, although I do understand why, Greg. There was a certain amount of grace and poignancy that this chapter had that, like, was a complete 180 from last week. But, on the same and, I do love getting, like, the lore of the vampire plants and an explanation. But at the same point, like, nothing super major happened, but it was a great course correction. So, it definitely feels like it's much more on track than it was last time, where it was, like, just stupid wheel spinning. And then there was that, like, foreshadowing. Ooh, we're going to tell them about the fucking, weird symbol bullshit?
All right, I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh.
I think I gave it a 5 last time. It did course correct, so I am definitely taking that into account, but I mean, there have been better chapters, so I don't feel comfortable giving it anything higher. It pulled itself out of the fire, but quite frankly, I'm still in a wait and see kind of mood.
I can understand that logic.
It feels like it hasn't been a chapter this good in a while, so I'm happy. But it's like I'm not like being totally like flip-floppy on this. I feel it's just like it was such a good course direction.
You're overexcited about this.
I don't feel like I'm too overexcited about it, but it's like such a good course correction from my perspective that it felt like it deserved, credit for pulling its ass out of the fire.
The previous chapters weren't terrible. All the buildup of them being chased, it just felt like it was a big payoff to a buildup that didn't quite deliver what it needed to. And because of that, we didn't get a payoff. We were all just kind of like walking. I'm trying to think. The best thing I could compare it is walking out of the Watchmen movie.
Well, I have very negative opinions about the Watchmen movie.
Well, when you watch the Watchmen movie, you're feeling like, you're kind of liking it because, on a surface level, it's a 90% accurate adaptation of the Alan Moore, comic book. You're enjoying it. But something's still sort of, niggling in the back of your mind that you can't quite articulate. That, you don't love it as much as you think you should, even though all the information you saw tells you that you should love it without a shadow of doubt. And then over time you look at deconstructions over it, and it just kind of mulls and leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you think about all the stupid speed ramping and the fact that Zack Snyder puts all this fetishistic emphasis on the violence, which is not really what the Watchmen is about. And Zack Snyder is a great director at making shit look cool, but he's not really good at playing with themes or any deeper subtext.
Yeah. All right. So
something like the Watchmen, though, it didn't really fit in a movie kind of format, and also he fucked up the ending.
No, I've heard different arguments. Some people like the ending better than the original.
I don't know. I still fucking hate that ending.
The squid?
The Night Owl shouldn't punch
Dr.
out.
Manhattan. I mean, at that point, it's just okay, we have to go out and punch. That's God, right? I mean, that's basically God. He could just kill us if he wanted to, right? He's basically shown he can kill us if he wants to. I mean, I feel like the correct human response to that is the oh shit moment. We're all going to die, not the we need to band together and fight it. That's not going to work. The alien squid monster works because you need to band together and fight it. It's a great unknown. You might still be able to kick this thing's ass.
Okay, that's a different argument.
You have that hope. Whereas Dr. Manhattan, if he's shown us anything in Vietnam, he's basically shown us that he will beat the ever-loving shit out of you without even trying.
Yeah, there's no way the world would be able to beat Dr. Manhattan.
What the fuck are you going to do? Nuke him? I don't think that works.
At least with the alien threat, it feels like...
Hey, you might actually be able to, drop a hydrogen bomb on that and do something with it.
Yeah, and all right, that is a good argument. The alien squid monster represented the unknown and the intangible, and the quite frankly alien. And it was this psychosexual squid monster that was made by the most demented and famous artists of the world, designed to be something that mankind would hate and could unite against.
Also, Night Owl. I did not like when Night Owl punched Ozymandias in the face after he revealed his plan in the movie. because
Didn't he do it in the comic?
no, he just kind of like whimpered and said, "Oh, okay." I guess.
Well,
I guess
that's Zack Snyder being like a super dude bro, where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna like,
Night Owl isn't a
we're
super
gonna get-
dude, bro. He's like the exact opposite of a super dude, bro.
Yeah, he is. And Zack Snyder gave him a super dude bro reaction, which was like punching him in the face a bunch of times.
Fuck that. That went completely against Night Owl's character for me, and I hated that. And I didn't like that movie. I just didn't like it. I thought, yeah, whatever.
Okay, so that was the reaction that we had. Okay, so I think we've had a very lively, engaging, intelligent discussion about this latest chapter and its course correction. Now, the most important part: what the hell are we gonna shill?
Good fucking question. Let's. The hell are we gonna shill?
The best thing I can think of.
Katniss bow and arrow kit.
My God.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me see, because like part of me wants to do like a wilderness survival guide, but now like, yeah, the Katniss. I think Katniss Everdeen bow and arrow. There's Ruby.
Okay, if we can't get that, we're selling.
Okay. So we've got
We're selling like a. Sorry, go ahead.
So we've got two options. We got the Ruby's Costume Co. Women's The Hunger Games Katniss bow, or we could have Barbie Collector Hunger Games Katniss Everdeen doll.
That one.
Yes.
Like I was gonna suggest like, a Grow Your Own Roses kit, but that's so much better.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Here's my challenge to all of like my non-existent fans, except for Walter Street, because you know you're the legit guy. You're the one who like follows these videos, and I appreciate it. And you know what? Because you like that, like you were like one of the few people who watched the Game of Thrones video. I'm gonna do a Dorne video at some point. That's happening. I'm gonna make a video about why I think Dorne is pointless. Won't be a long video, but it will be there. And
It's just gonna be like you looking into the camera and saying "fuck Dorn" and then turning the camera off.
No, it'll be a bit more in depth about it. I'll talk about how Dorne is a complete waste of time in both the TV show and the book, and like it's better in the book, but like as cool and interesting as Dorne is, it just makes things more complicated, and nobody really needs it, and it doesn't like, it fits into the reason why we still don't have those last two books. But no, I'm going to save that discussion for another time. But here's my challenge for you, even though I am not nearly as good enough of a YouTuber to like, oh God, I want fan art. I want fan art of my little lobster persona. I'm like, God, I want that so badly. Well, anyway, so here's my challenge. I want you to use your incredible modeling skills to buy this figure and turn it into an Emma figure. I want you to convert Katniss Everdeen into Emma and make the world's first like Emma doll.
Okay, that sounds good.
So can you do that? Are you a hardcore enough fan? The answer is no. That's never gonna fucking happen. But that is my challenge to you. Make the first Emma figurine. Come on. You want to earn your nerd cred? This is what you got to do. You can't get on the My Hero Academia fan train, because that train has already sailed. There are already like a billion people who are already like dressing up as the Frog Girl, who are already wearing Deku costumes. You just can't. And you think you're gonna be cool by like pretending to be the hero killer Stain because he's like the hot new character? Well, there's gonna be 5 bajillion people all dressed up as the hero killer. So you know what you got to do? Because this is what geek culture is. It is always about being 3 steps ahead of the game and showing that you are the cool guy who found the thing before anyone else. So you have to buy this doll and you have to turn it into an Emma figurine just to validate me here. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do right at this minute.
And why not stop there? Why stop there? Because
please never say that again.
Why stop there? Make Ray and Norman figurines next to the Emma one as well.
Yes.
What are we also
into
shilling Ken dolls too?
Yes.
What is going on?
Ken dolls made for Norman and Ray.
Well, what you could do is, I don't know if Barbie has it, but they might have like a doll for like PETA and the other guy, like the handsome guy. So they can be your Norman and
treatment of animals. What the fuck are you?
No. The PETA. You read the first Hunger Games book, right, Scott?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
There are 2 guys. There's Gail, who's the handsome, sexy one.
Oh, yeah. Each one of them has like black hair
Peter,
and
the
blonde
guy
hair.
who will stab you to death with a knife. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So you need you need to just convert PETA and Gale Barbie figurines into Ray and Norman, and you can have the first set of Promised Neverland dolls, and you can sell them on Etsy, and you can bring them to cons, and you will be the coolest person to not many people, but the one people who does recognize it, because that's what it's all about. It's about having these little niche connections and interests, and then finding that one person, that one single person who is ingrained in your culture, and then having that instantaneous connection. And because you don't want to be the person who's doing what everyone else is doing, you want to be the guy who's ahead of the curve. And this is how you can get ahead of the curve.
Jesus
how you do
Christ,
it.
Isaac.
Yeah, I'm having fun where I like just kind of like
Christ.
improv and like come up with my like random sales pitches and then just like, take it over the edge and see how far I can go.
All right, let's get out of here, folks.
All right, so
All right.
thank you for watching it. It was a long, lively discussion. We enjoyed having you here. Wave goodbye, gents.
Bye.
See you, folks.
Remember, Lobster is a tennis, but don't you grab it.
Manga's made of iron, lobster's made of meat.